Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I have some new products that I want to show you guys. A lot of these products are affordable products. There may be a few in there that aren't so affordable, but I'll let you guys know what is and what is not. But for the most part, most of these are affordable products. If you're new here, I would love for you to join my channel by hitting the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so that you'll know when I put out a new video. Let's go ahead and get started with these new products. So I made an online purchase with Ulta and I bought a few new items that I saw on their website. I know there's a lot more newer items that are coming out, but I haven't really had a chance to go out to Ulta. We've had like a freeze here in Dallas and I haven't really been able to go out, but now that the weather is getting better, I want to go out to Ulta, see what they have that is new. I really have my eye on that e.l.f. camo powder. I hear it's really good, so I'm excited about getting my hands on that. But we're gonna go ahead and get started with the stuff that I do have. We're gonna start off with primer. I am gonna use two primers because I've had one forever and the other one I just ordered at Ulta. So the one that I've had forever is the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. I'm sure a lot of you have heard about this one. I'm actually gonna use this on the right side of my face today. I've been really wanting to try it. It's supposed to be comparable to the Milk Grip Primer. The second one that I got is the Wet n Wild Prime Focus Primer Serum. This is supposed to actually refine pores. It is somewhat similar to the hydrating serum that I've had and that I've loved. The other one is more of like a pink shade, but this is a purple type lavender shade. Yeah, I'm gonna try this one on the left side of my face because I wanna see if this is really pore refining. If it is, it's gonna be one of those that I'm gonna pick up for a long time. Let's go ahead and start with the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This one's really cute. It has a pump to it, which is really nice. And I'm just gonna pump probably a little less than a pea size. I don't wanna use too much on just one side of my face. So I'm just going to press this in. I've been pressing in my primers because I use a tinted SPF and I just feel like pressing the product in makes it a little bit better. Things come out a little more evenly and it doesn't smear all the tint that I have on my face. So it does feel like it has a tacky type consistency. It does feel like it's drying a little bit. So it does have the same consistency as the Milk Makeup Grip Primer. So this is the Wet n Wild Primer and it uses a dropper. So I'm just gonna take a little bit in the tips of my fingers. And I'm also gonna press this into the skin. This has, of course, a more liquidy consistency, and I'm gonna put it right here where those pores are. Okay, so I can't really tell if it covered up my pores or not. This still has a tackiness to it. This has a little bit of tackiness to it, but it doesn't feel as tacky as this side. We'll see how the foundation goes on. So I'm gonna let that set, and then I'm gonna go ahead and go in with eye primer. I am using my Milk Hydro Grip Eye Primer. This is not, of course, drugstore. I got this at Sephora. I'm just putting a little bit on. So I did purchase 4 of the multi-sticks from Wet n Wild. This is Champagne Room, Nude Culture, Burning Bridges, and this one's called Chocolate Cheat Day. So those are the shades that I purchased. They are multi-sticks, so I'm sure you can use them as lipsticks, as cheek color, as eye color, or even as a highlighter. We're gonna go ahead and try these as an eyeshadow today. I do have an eyeshadow palette that I wanna use in conjunction with this, and that's gonna be the Lethal Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. I have not used this, so I wanna use this together with these shadow sticks. I'm gonna go ahead and take all the plastic off of the packaging and then we'll get started with the eyes. All right guys, I went ahead and did both eyes, but I wasn't recording, so I kept one eye on. So I'm gonna show you guys how I applied the products because like I said, I wasn't recording. So out of the Lethal Cosmetics palette, I put on this shade right here and I just put that in my crease. I went in with this Chocolate Cheat Day stick and I just put some product on my brush and then I just patted it into my eyelid. Then I took a more dense brush and I just kind of blended the edges. Then I added the Burning Bridges shade. I took the dense brush and added some product to the brush, and then I just pressed this on the outer corner of my eye just to intensify the look. Then I took a little bit of this shade right here, the gold shade, with my finger. These Lethal Cosmetics shades are very buttery, so you only need to press your finger in there very gently. and then I just put a little bit on the center of my eye. Now I will say that I like the eye look without this extra shadow, but I wanted to use a couple of shadows from that Lethal Cosmetics palette, so that's why I added this yellow shadow. But to be honest with you, the look without this eyeshadow is just as pretty. I'm just kind of blending it in a little bit because I don't want it to be too like harsh. Okay, so I got this new sponge from this brand, which is called Stryx, if I'm not mistaken. I got this at Nordstrom. I did wet it, but I noticed it's got like a little bit of, I don't want to say damage, but like these little indentations. I don't know if I have to use it a lot more, but that's kind of weird. Anyway, it is kind of like a pyramid type blending sponge. It's got a round side, and then a flat side right here. And that's where some of the indentation is. Either way, I'm gonna try it today. I'm gonna be trying it with my RCMA makeup foundation. This is like my all-time favorite, as you guys know. So I'm just gonna go through this really quickly. You guys have seen me put my foundation on. I'm gonna go through this very quickly and then we'll get into the other products. I'm gonna go in with my 5-in-1 concealer by Revlon. This is in the shade medium. So I showed this in my favorites video for January, and I'm telling you guys, this is a very, very nice product. I'm just gonna take that sponge and press that concealer into the under eye. Like I said in my January favorites, this is not a really high coverage concealer, but still it is a very nice concealer. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more. I have a few dark circles under there, so I wanna cover those up. I'm gonna take my Sephora Microsmooth powder in beige. I'm just gonna set my under eyes with this. So for powder today, I did get this Wet n Wild Bare Focus Clarify Finishing Powder. This is in the shade medium tan. This has vegan collagen, tea tree, and vitamin E. All right, so that's the shade up close. I'm just gonna take my puff and I'm going to press it into the powder. I'm gonna dab a little bit on the back of my hand so I don't get too much, but the powder seems really nice and soft looking. So let's go ahead and press this into the skin. It does add a little bit of coverage, as you can see. So it set my makeup really nicely. I think this shade is like perfect for me. All right, so now I'm gonna use some bronzer. This isn't a drugstore bronzer, but it is a bronzer that I love, and I shared it with you during my January favorites. This is from Refy, and this is in the shade tan. It's a beautiful, like creamy bronzer. It goes beautifully over powder. What I'm gonna do is just take a brush, dip it into the product, press that onto my skin to bronze up my face. Now, like I said, this bronzer is really warm. It's got some red undertone to it, which I really don't mind. It looks really beautiful on the skin. When I wear this bronzer, I probably won't have to wear like too much blush because it is very pigmented, more on the warm side, but it's still a gorgeous bronzer. So next I have some cream blushes from L.A.Girl. I ended up getting Grace and Blissful. This one's more of an orangey tone. This one's more of like a peachy pink. So apparently you can use this for your cheeks and your lip, but I think I'm gonna only use these on my cheeks today. So I'm gonna try both. I'm gonna go in with Grace first, because Grace isn't like super pink. It has like kind of that peachy pink shade to it. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand, just like that. I'm gonna clean off the brush that I used with the bronzer, and then I'm just gonna press it into that shade, and I'm gonna press it onto the cheeks. Now this shade looks peachy pink, but it shows up more pink on my skin. So it appears to be like matte. Let's go ahead and go in with the other shade, because I think the other shade's gonna match perfectly with this eye look. So that's the shade right there, Blissful. Blissful's more on the kind of pink orange, maybe has a little bit of, I don't know, terracotta in it. I'm just going to press that on top of the other cheek color. And I know it's gonna look like I have a lot of cheek color on, which I probably do, but we're gonna tone it down with powder. It's going on really nice. I really like the finish of these. They're really like matte, really pretty. Let me get another powder so that I can lighten this up a little bit. Okay, so I ended up getting my One Size powder by Patrick Starr. All right guys, so I'm gonna go in with a little bit of this champagne shade on the inner corner. I might put a little bit on the brow bone, just a tiny bit. I am gonna take this shade from the Lethal Cosmetics palette and I'm gonna use a brush to put a little bit on my lower lash line. Kind of connect everything together. So I did want to go in with a little bit of this Flower Beauty Flower Pots blush. This is in Berry More. I know I have a lot of blush on, but I do want to try this. I think this is a new shade in their line. So this is the shade. Isn't it gorgeous? I'm just going to take a little bit of this and I'm just going to put it on the back of my cheeks. Right here. Ooh, it's very pigmented, so yeah, I probably shouldn't have added it, but I still wanted to try it. It's really pretty, very pigmented, so be careful with this. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead, put my lips on, I'm gonna do something with this hair, and I'll be right back, and we will talk about all of these products. All right, guys, I am back. I did put on my lipstick. I used my Makeup by Mario liner in Travis. I also used a Maybelline Superstay liquid lipstick. I'll list that right here. Also, on top of that is a NYX lip gloss. I'll list that right here as well. But let's go ahead and go over all of these products. So I wanna start with the primers. The Wet n Wild primer, I'm looking at this area where I put it on and I don't see like my pores. It looks very smooth in that area. It doesn't look like my pores are peeking through. It looks like it covered up really, really well. As opposed to this side right here that I use the e.l.f. Power Grip Primer. This primer looks really smooth. It looks nice on the skin. The foundation adhered well with both of them. But here I see a little bit of my pores as opposed to this side. So I really think this did a good job of like covering up those pores. So I do like this for refining my pores. I think it looks really nice and smooth there. And for this e.l.f. Power Grip Primer, I think the primer went on really nice on the skin. I do think, like I said, the foundations adhered to both of them very well. This one doesn't cover up pores though, so you would have to put like a pore refining primer like wherever you have pores, because I really feel like this didn't do much for my pores at all. But even so, I do think it's a good product. We will see how my makeup lasts throughout the day with both of these. I'll put that information in the description box below. I'm not really doing an all-day wear test or anything like that, but I will wear the makeup as long as I can today, and then I'll put whether the primers worked throughout the day or not. So the next thing I want to talk about is the Flower Beauty blush. This blush is beautiful on the skin. It is very pigmented. So I really did not need to add it with any other blush, but for the sake of the video, I did want to try it and I did want to see how it went onto my cheeks. I think it does a really good job of blending in well. It's very beautiful, like I said, very pigmented, so a little goes a long way. And then for the cream blushes by L.A.Girl, I like these guys. I think the finish is gorgeous. It is like a matte finish, but it's so soft looking and they do have pigmentation. So yeah, I found these were really easy to apply as well. And they just look really beautiful on the cheeks. I really do love the finish of these. So really excited about these. I hope you guys can try these. They're very inexpensive. So I'm gonna check out a few more of these. I've been really into like cream blushes and cream bronzers. I've been really into those type of products. So yeah, this was right up my alley. Okay, so for the Wet n Wild Multi-Sticks, guys, I'm super, super impressed with these sticks. Normally when you find like a stick like this, whether it's in Wet n Wild, Hard Candy, NYX, they always seem to be a little bit like drying to where when you put it on your eye, it feels like it's tugging your lid a little bit. These did not have that kind of tug. They went on super creamy, especially with the brush. I did not try them with my finger, but I'm sure that they can be applied really well like that. But using the brush and these, oh my gosh, these are so creamy and they blended in beautifully on the eyelid. I loved the eye look that I created before I even applied my Lethal Cosmetics eyeshadow. I love that eye look. By itself, that eye look is perfect for right now. It is very smoky. It was beautiful and warm looking, and so I really loved the way these cream sticks went on the eye. They're so impressive. The Lethal Cosmetics palette was so good, guys. The two shades that I use are super pigmented, and I'm sure the other shades will perform just like the two shades that I used today. I don't really hear a lot about Lethal Cosmetics, but I am so glad that I tried this, guys. It is so good, and these do pop out on the back, so you can always make up your own palette. Like I said, I purchased this palette at Camera Ready Cosmetics the way it is now, but wow, these shadows worked really well. So for the Stryx sponge, I did like this sponge. Even though it's a little quirky right here where it's kind of dented in, it still did the job. It helped that foundation go on flawless. I think it spread that foundation evenly. It also was easy to use for concealer. When I pressed that concealer in with the corner here, it went on very smooth. So yeah, I think I do like this. I hope that it will gain its shape back once I use it more and more. I think this was only like $8, maybe less, on Nordstrom's website. So yeah, this is a really good sponge. I really liked using it today. I think it did a good job. So the last product I want to talk about is the Wet n Wild Bare Focus Powder. Guys, this is a new favorite. Look at my skin. Look how smooth my skin looks with this powder. And I don't have a filter on my camera. This is my skin. Look at that. It just looks so smooth and silky. It has a little bit of pigmentation, which I like because it adds a little bit more color to my skin. And it doesn't have so much pigmentation where, you know, your foundation is going to change. It just has a little bit. It has, I would say it's about a medium coverage. It's not like a full coverage powder like my One Size powder, but it's still a very nice powder on the skin. It's beautiful. I'm really liking this. All right, guys, so that's the end of this video. So glad I tried all of these new products. There's some great affordable drugstore products in there. Like I told you guys, I will test out the primers, let you guys know in the description box. And I'm also going to test the cream shadows because I want to make sure that they don't crease. I did use a primer, but even so, sometimes they will crease. So I will let you guys know about that as well if they did crease. If they didn't, I'm not going to mention it at all. But yeah, so I really loved playing with makeup today and sharing it with you guys. I hope that you will give this video a thumbs up. Take care, and we will see you guys on the next one. Bye.